This is the 17th year Terra Lanes in Michigan, just outside Detroit, has hosted a PBA Tour event. Welcome back, everyone. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, our entire ESPN PBA crew. Glad you could join us here in suburban Detroit. Randy, your thoughts on this field of five? Walter Ray Williams Jr. bowling tremendously well. Third TV show already of the season for him. Maybe back into Player of the Year honors for the first time since '98, but Brian Voss charging too.
Right, and you know, that great Hall of Fame talent, but I think the one player you really have to look for is Mike Scroggins. He's the only left-hander in the field, and he told me last night it was to his advantage to bowl a right-hander.
All right, oil pattern A again for the second straight week. Break it down for us.
Let's take a look. It's the exact same pattern we used last week on synthetics, but two different synthetics. Last week you saw Danny Wiseman win playing the deep inside line. This week the players went a lot straighter because this week this synthetic surface was much smoother than last week's.
For much more on the lane patterns, log on, PBA.com, the best bowling website out there to be completely updated on what's happening with each and every event. Live internet simulcast of the match play events as well. All available. You can sign up for that. And seeing our TV show on delay as well, PBA.com. That came in high. Was glad he avoided any sort of split. And a 3-pin up for Voss.
Yeah, you know, right now the guys are just struggling to get the ball to the 1-3 pocket. And again, you know, it's that fine line. This ball's left again, and he's calling for it to go one way or the other, just not right in the middle. It's a nice break, though, just leaving the 3-pin. 100% on single pin spares.
And continues to be perfect in that category. On the left. One in Memphis 2 weeks ago, and the wild card because he lost to Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the round of 8 in a good match. He told us today, Brian Voss did before this match, that was exciting. Went right down to the wire, and a lot of emotion involved as well, just with his game in general, but especially in that match last night. See the wild card winners, what's happened with qualifiers so far. Pocket.
You know, the first 6 games that Brian Voss bowled in match play, he outscored his opponents by over 400 pins. I mean, he really took it to him. In the second round, the round of 16, starts off 278, 278.
Closely tracking those two numbers on the bottom. Brand new stats here. Again, it comes in high. Just can't seem to find the groove.
Boy, that's a ball change right there. Trying to find a ball that'll go a little bit straighter to push further down the lane before it starts to hook. And again, this ball just doesn't go far enough to the right. Back end's too hard. Leaves a 3-6-10. Now Lonnie doesn't have to worry about that 9-pin. Can throw that very low friction spare ball. Cover all 3 pins with the ball.
Does that. Wasn't as clean as he would like.
Hey, cover all 3 pins with the ball, man. Look, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. Just barely cut a piece of the 3-pin.
Just take the mark however you can get it.
I wonder if the wind from the ball blew that over. Speaking of blowing, you see Lonnie blowing in his thumb hole. It's to get a nice secure feel. When you blow in your thumb hole, it adds just a little bit of moisture and gives you a nice grip. Plus, you watch Lonnie, he uses a lot of rosin on his thumb. He really likes a secure thumb.
Max score of 207, down 28 pins. Trying to coax that into the pocket.
Let's get something started.
Looking for a groove.
Now, you know, this one's a lot closer. Still can't get the ball far enough right of the head pin. And early on, we're seeing the guy struggle a little bit with ball reaction.
Picks up his mark. Really felt it was a grind. Trying to find some answers.
You heard him say, hey, anybody have a suggestion? Well, my suggestion would be one of two things. Either moving right, throwing the ball a lot straighter and a lot harder, or moving in, getting softer and going around it more.
Getting back to the grind we talked about with Lonnie, really is surprised. In Memphis, everything seemed to be clicking for him. Had great ball reaction, but just has not been the case in Detroit this week. Always done well enough to get here as Voss strikes again on lane 40.
That was a big shot there. As you see the point list.
Top 8 go right to the round of 8 skipping qualifying at the season-ending World Championship in March. Chris Barnes, a slim advantage over Walter Ray Williams Jr. Walter Ray may pass him. Should, in fact, after making the show, depending on what happens. We'll find out Monday when the new list is released. 10-pin.
Well, I tell you what, if it wasn't for a couple of those ring and 10s, in fact, I think that's the third one he's left this game, you know, this would be a slaughter. Right now, Brian Voss.
Every time I run it out, it's solid.
Okay, well, stop running it out, Brian. It's going at a 2:14 pace with a spare.
Each perfect single pin conversion so far. 10-pin remains 100%.
And Lonnie Waliczek's math, well, Brian Voss just has to show up in the 10th frame. Needs 3 pins to win. Lonnie Waliczek's basically locked out of this match.
There we see the open frames. Just completely did him in. Little trip of the 4-pin late.
Lonnie's like, where was that last frame? Ball's going to drift a little bit high. 2-pin goes to the sidewall. This never happens when you need it to. At least for me.
We're all working on improvements. All the time.
No doubt.
On lane 39 in the pocket. Lonnie got some time at home after the event in suburban Chicago last week. Got to go home to Wichita and see his wife and young daughter. He thought that really recharged him and helped him get to the TV show this week. Really beneficial to see the family again. It's awfully tough. These guys grind out week in and week out. Brian Voss knows about family and how crucial his young sons were. His win in Memphis. You see him in the upper left there. Still focused. Drifting a little bit off that pocket, but still a strike. Have to wait till next time.
To practice. You got to come out in 52 in the third.
Yeah, you know, it happens so often out here. You know, whether it's qualifying or what have you, you get 15 minutes of practice. You know, prior to the telecast, you get 30 minutes of practice. When you shoot 190.
Dad loves you. I miss you.
Talking back home to his young daughter, just 2.5 years old.
7 to win. Just keep it on the lane. Shouldn't be a problem for Brian Voss. And that's enough.
Right down the middle. Solid 2-pin that clinches a victory in the wild card. He's into the semifinals.
You got to take 5 out of play, folks. Only need 7.
What he means by that is throwing the ball straight and hard at the head pin. He's got a lot better chance of getting 8 or 9 than trying to hook it when the lanes are a little tricky.
We're even.
So Brian Voss has wrapped this one up, and we will fast track to the end of this match. We'll take on Mike Scroggs, the lefty.
Excuse me, Brian's going to get lined up on this shot now. This one's not going to be straight down the middle. He's going to check something out right here with a different shot. You give himself an idea for what he's going to do in his next match.
All right, 213 to 196. Voss advances.